Good evening, Bhante and all Kalyana Mita Sutihotu. I'm Aliana. Welcome to Sutta discussion day 17 by Bhante Dr. Gangodawila Chandima. Tonight is the fourth class of the second topic, Ratana Sutta, the second sutta from the total of 10 sutta that has been chosen by Bhante Chandima for this sutta discussion. For those who wish to join the discussion via Zoom class, where we can engage directly with Bhante, kindly contact us on Ti-Ratana Vihara Aman Perdana Klang's Facebook Messenger. The class is still open for newcomer. However, this class also will be broadcast on Ti-Ratana Vihara Aman Perdana Klang Facebook page and YouTube channel. Now, I would like to introduce about our speaker, Bhante Dr. Gangodawila Chandima. Bhante now currently is a senior advisor at Ti-Ratana Canada, a virtual Dharma organization that helps beginner as well as expert students in learning in Dharma in variety ways. Many people are interested in Dhamma Pariyesana Ti-Ratana most acclaimed interview series, which Bhante conduct on regular basis. You can check on Ti-Ratana with the link www.tiratana.blogspot.com. Bhante Chandima earned a PhD in Buddhist Studies in 2015 from University of Sri Jayawardenepura in Sri Lanka. And from 2012 to 2015, Bhante served as a Theravada Buddhist chaplain at the University of British Columbia, Vancouver, Canada. And in 2016, Bhante was a research fellow at the Center for Studies in Religion and Society of the University of Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. Without further ado, we welcome once again Bhante, and thank you very much for the talk. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Bhante.
Aliana and Lim facilitating all this. At the same time, I wanted to welcome a couple of friends. There was a bell last Friday, and we have Heng from Singapore, who's a Dhamma friend of us for some time on Parisot and all that. And we have Pungi, daughter of Bella. She's from Glasgow. And then the other folks actually, we know them. I hope that some others will be joining as we proceed. And we have Kim back again. Huh? Kim was with us. And yeah, welcome back. So so as you can remember, the days that we've been covering last many Fridays, especially, we've been covering two suttas, especially the Maha Mangala Sutta, the sutta where we find 38 blessings. This sutta was completely discussed, especially with different ways of looking at the sutta, not like the normal textual, probably the way that how the sutta was being discussed by many, saying that just by listening to the chanting, we'll get blessings. So we also talk about we need to create blessings. If you don't create the blessings, you won't get the full blessings. But there are still blessings just by listening, but we need to take it to the next level. And then somewhere we started the second sutta, Ratana Sutta today. So in Ratana Sutta, we've been already covering, I guess, 8 stanzas till last Friday. So today we have verse number 9. We're actually discussing very interesting aspects of Buddhism, going beyond this sutta being a sutta that only is being discussed, considered as a blessing. Okay, so before we jump on to the discussion, let's pray homage to Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tas Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tas Bhagavatu Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tas Bhagavatu Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Ratana Sutta, as we discussed, has different, I would say, different things to learn from this sutta. Now, the first two stanzas are just the background story, right? Now, because I'm discussing that with three new people here, Heng, Pungi, and Bella as well. So, if you can go back to the first verse number 1, verse number 2, they are not exactly the sutta. They are the background story, what happened, right? So there were beings assembled, beings from the sky, beings from the ground, and now Venerable Ananda is asking them to listen to him, right? Because if you go, imagine you go into a classroom, students are very disruptive, so you cannot talk about your lesson right away. You need to get their attention first, right? Otherwise, you can't do it. So it's something like, second is a request by Venerable Ananda from those non-human beings to help these people in the city of Vesali. So the real sutta starts from verse number 3. It doesn't mean that the first two stanzas are not part of the Ratana Sutta, but just keep those two verses as the background story. And verse number 3, it's about the value of the Buddha. And verse number 2, it's about the Dhamma, right? We talk about many things, especially the concentration, right? The concentration part comes in the verse number 5, Samadhi, because we talk about two concentrations, Antarika Samadhi, which you don't see here, and Anantarika Samadhi. What did we discuss? Anybody can remember what we discussed on that day about this concentration? It's pretty interesting to start today's verse by just summarizing what you can see here. Concentration, is it important in Buddhism? It's very important. Is it before the wisdom or after the wisdom? Sila, Samadhi, Panya. So Samadhi is concentration and Panya is the wisdom. Is it before the wisdom or after the wisdom?
Before, Bhante.
Generally speaking, before, but sometimes
Can be after.
It could be after. That's pretty interesting. Now, I will tell you the reason. Do you know the Arahants, those enlightened folks? There are two types of Arahants. Now, I did not discuss that with you so far. One kind of Arahant is, we call them Ubato Bhaga Vimutta. That means they have attained Nibbana by both jhanas and the wisdom. So they have gone to the 8 jhanas. Also, they have, so we call them one category of Arahants. And the second category is Arahants who become Arahants not by attaining jhanas. They only practice Panya. So the reason, the distinguished thing that we need to see between these two folks is that if any Arahant became an Arahant through only the wisdom, they cannot go to Nirodha Samapatti because they don't know how to practice jhanas. But only Arahants who practice jhanas can practice Samapatti. So just additional knowledge. But the thing that we discuss here is concentration. Here means what we call the attainment of the fruit. That means when you attain Nibbana, whatever the way, either by Ubato Bhaga Vimutta or Panya Vimutta, whatever the way you attain Nibbana, then you have a fixed, uninterrupted concentration. That concentration will not expire. Other concentrations that you gain by jhanas, they will expire because they are transient, temporary. That's why it is said in here, verse number 5, Samadhimanantarikanimav Samadhinatena Samonaviti. So the concentration that an arahant achieves, attains, is not interrupted. It is always continuously helping their focus. And then we talk about Sangha, about there are different pairs, 8 Sangha and all that in verse number 6. Verse number 7, we discuss about the way, the process of how Sangha attaining Nibbana. At the same time, the process is a free journey, free of charge journey, right? Free journey, Muda. And then we also discuss number 8, verse number 8. In that we talk about, let's say, the confidence or the trust that enlightened beings like arahants have. That confidence is not wavered, shaken by any other thing. Now, look at the confidence and the faith that many people have about Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Sometimes it can change because, let's say, you see a fault of a Sangha, you get shaken. And then probably you see something about a speaker, another Dhamma speaker who is talking differently, you might see, oh, then you are trying to be in conflict with that person sometimes, right? But arahants, they have no, inconsistency, I would say, changes with their trust about the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. I got something here on the chat. Yeah, yes, hang, we are referring to Ratana Sutta. Okay, verse number 9, I think it's gonna be the page number 13 of this PDF. The document has not paginated, okay? But if you can scroll up and down, you can see the numbers coming up. So it's gonna be page number 13, verse number 9. Now, we are going to talk about Sotapanna. Now, the Sotapanna means the first attainment in Buddhism, right? If you want to attain an enlightened folk, then the first attainment is become a Sotapanna. Why did the Buddha choose to talk about the Sotapanna for the Sangha? Because they are all about Sangha. He picked the bare minimum attainment, Sotapanna. So then I would say readers or listeners who get to know this have no issue with what you call understanding the rest of the attainment. Okay, so I usually ask someone to read, possible. So who would like to read? Verse number 9. Probably somebody who has not read so far. Recited.
Sherry. Can read, huh?
Okay. No, we'll try later.
Okay.
Who wants to read?
I can try.
Oh yeah, try is the best thing. Okay.
Ye Ariya Satchani Vibhavayanti Gambirapanena Sodisitani Kinchapi Te Honti Busapa Mata Nate Bhavam Atamam Adiyanti Idampi Sangha Ratanam Panitam Etena Sachana Suvati Hotu.
Great. Ye Ariya Satchani Vibhavayanti. Now, when there's H sound, you have to lay emphasis on that. Vibhav, not vibhav. Ye Ariya Satchani Vibhavayanti. Then again, you see H sound. Gambhira Panena Sudesitani. Kinchapi te honti. Again, you see H. Bhu sapamata. Na te bhavam. There's H. Again, there's H. Atharmam adiyanti. Idampi sanghe ratana panitam etena sachena suvati. Now I want you to understand how to pronounce Pali also, right? Otherwise you are leaving that to a monk and then you are learning the translation, which might not a good idea, right? Getting stuck every time because never know what it is. It's not a difficult language, very easy language. The only thing is your willingness to learn, right? Let's look at the meaning now. Okay. Arya Satchan. Anybody wants to guess what is Arya Satchan? What is Arya? I normally break these words to find the meaning. Arya.
Noble truth.
Noble. Arya means noble. Satchani. Satchani. Truth. Noble. The truth. Arya means noble. Truth means Satcha. Now the word Arya comes from Hinduism actually. This word comes from the folks who came from Persia, the modern Iraq and Iran. At that time, there was no Iran, Iraq. There was Persia, the whole Persia. It was separated after a certain time. So the folks who came to India from Persia was the Aryans. And the folks who were in India at that time, they called Dasyus, these kind of historical things about civilizations. So there were fights between these two people, between the Dasyus and the Aryans. So there are different stories. Anyways, so the folks who came from this Persia, they were called Aryans. So since some time, people had a kind of a use to say good, noble things to be Aryan, right, in their society. So Arya, in this case, noble, because they thought those folks who came to India from Persia, they are very noble people. Even the Buddha, they say, the Buddha's lineage also probably dates back to these Aryans, they say. And also the high caste people in India, they say the high caste people, they come from Persia to India. So they call those people noble, higher people. So that same meaning came to this Pali term, Arya or Arya in Sanskrit. Satchani means truth, asservations, truth. Ye means those folks. Who are these people? Those arahants. Those arahants, starting from the Sotapannas, I mean, at least you can say, Vibhavayanti, they understand the Four Noble Truths. Now, how many truths are there in Buddhism? 4 truths. I have a very simple question. Can there be 4 truths? Practically speaking, can there be 4 truths, or there should be only 1 truth? How do we take that? Now, intellectually thinking, can there be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 truths? Now, here 4 truths or 1 truth in this universe? How do we understand it? There is only 1 truth. But in order to deliver that to the normal folks, the Buddha had to break it into 4. That's why it is called 4 Noble Truths. Because at that time, people had a use called sickness, the cause of sickness, recovery from the sickness, and the treatment plan to recover from the sickness. So people knew this. So Buddha had to put his teaching into this 4 formula. That's why he had to use the only 1 truth in 4 ways. This is a very philosophical, aspect to learn 4 Noble Truths. But still, it is said 4 Noble Truths. But there's only 1. What is that 1 truth? You can guess in Pali.
Is it suffering?
Dukkha.
Dukkha.
Oh, we cannot name it suffering on the surface level, because suffering is a part of dukkha. Now, those Western folks who translated in 18th century, who were colonizing Asia, they translated these Pali texts from Sri Lanka especially. They translated these words pretty much close to the biblical canon, the Bible, the Holy Bible. So there were some misinterpretations too, plus there are advantages, good sides too. One thing was their translations were that they translated thinking that this is a sacred book to be closer to the Holy Bible. That's why they gave the meaning dukkha to be suffering. Now the people, when they look at suffering, really, the Buddha says everything is suffering, we don't like it because we come here to learn happiness. This is the problem. See, everything is pessimistic, life is pessimistic, there is no experience, there is no nothing, right? Pretty much nothing, because people want to find happiness. So if people want to find happiness, giving kind of a blanket statement that everything is suffering prevents anybody to learn, actually. So dukkha does not, precisely say suffering, but unsatisfactoriness or dissatisfaction. I would say unsatisfactoriness. Is it a truth? It is a truth. Now in our life, every day we face this unsatisfactoriness. Today we eat rice. Tomorrow we want to change it, if you can afford. The person who has something expensive or not expensive who wants to change it for tomorrow, right? So these changes will help that person to be happy, right? So it's always, there is a level of unsatisfactoriness in our life. So it is not a suffering, because not everybody suffers with that unsatisfactoriness. Who are supposed to suffer from these levels of unsatisfaction? Those folks who don't understand how things work, right? Those folks who don't understand how things work, right? Now, especially looking at the changes in our life, right? Sickness, aging, right? So if you don't look at them, if you don't accept these changes in our life, then of course you may take it to unsatisfactoriness as well as make it as a suffering, right? So don't be quick to say that it is suffering. Then of course it's going to make you a suffering, definitely, right away. If you name it, it's going to be a suffering. But I would call it unsatisfactoriness in a very civilized way. I would like to make it a little civilized in English, otherwise, because the meaning, the proper meaning might lose in our discussion. Okay, so the only truth is unsatisfactoriness, which is called dukkha. And it was given as the truth of unsatisfactoriness, the truth of the cause of unsatisfactoriness, the recovery from unsatisfactoriness, the path that leads to overcome, I would say, treat this unsatisfactoriness, probably the recovery, get to the recovery from this unsatisfactoriness. Now, what's the clear answer to the path? It's the Noble Eightfold Path. This is the answer to deal with our unsatisfactoriness, right? There's nothing else. Now, these members of Sangha, they clearly understand the Four Noble Truths. This is what we have to get as the meaning. Ye means those Sangha members. Ariya Satchani, the Four Noble Truths. Here it doesn't say Four Noble Truths, it say Ariya Satchani. Say Noble Truths clearly understand. Vibhavayanti. Okay. Then the second one is about the same Arya Satchas, how the Arya Satchas, Noble Truths were taught by the Buddha. Gambhira Pannena Sudesita. What is Gambhira? Gambhira in Pali? Gambhira means deep. Gambhira means deep. Pannena means Panya, wisdom. Sudesa. So the Buddha taught these Four Noble Truths with a deep a deep wisdom. Gambira means deep, Panya means wisdom. Sudesitani taught. So the Buddha taught the Four Noble Truths with a deep wisdom. And so these Four Noble Truths that were taught by the Buddha with a deep wisdom are understood clearly by the Sangha members. Now, one of the very important skills in Buddhism is to make the deep Dhamma factors very shallow. In one of the suttas called Satcha Vibhanga Sutta, we understand the Arahant Sariputta had 8 skills. Achikkana, Desana, Panyapana, Pattapana, Vivarana, Vipachana, Uttanikam. It's kind of another thing. Uttanikam means a good speaker should be able to make deep, I would say, very confused, complicated Dhamma matters shallow. If somebody is going to make the deep matters deeper, so the folks won't be able to understand. It's not a skill. So the a person who wants to teach Dhamma should be able to make the Dhamma not lighter in terms of the weight, but should be able to make the deep Dhamma factors shallow in a way people can understand. But here, this is up to the Buddha. So the deep wisdom is on by the Buddha. Okay, now going back to the Sotapanna person. Okay, can anyone tell me who is a Sotapanna? Sotapanna. Who is he? Pretty bad, huh? It's not a gender-friendly word. Who is he? Who is he or she? Many Sotapanna. He or she.
He's the one who chooses to walk the path.
I think we all chose the path.
Yeah.
So how do we make him different, make her different from us?
He has
Assuming
let
that,
go.
yeah.
He has let go 3 feathers.
Okay, it's already let go. I would
Yes,
say eliminated.
He has the faith in the Buddha Sada, faith in the Buddha Dhamma Sangha.
Okay. In other words, we can say,
No more doubts.
yeah, we have to discuss that today because there's a stance about it too, Hema. Now, in short, we can understand this Sotapanna this way. Sotapanna means someone who entered the stream. This is a very easy way to understand. Have we entered the stream already? Not yet. What's the stream? Is it a watery place? Is it a river, lake, or something? Normally, our teachings of the Buddha, especially his teachings, say our life, I would say, goes as what do you call Pali word in a way called anusotagami. It is going down with the stream of kilesas, right? So the Buddhism is about patisotagami. That means it's an upstream journey. Normally, there are 2 streams. The stream that is going down downstream, that is the stream with kilesa, defilements. So we all are struggling with that. At times, on a daily basis, we get a lot of desires, lust, hatred sometimes, depending on the folks, and then ignorance. Because when we have lust and hatred, then if we don't have a proper management, then what will happen? Earlier, we thought we can manage, we can put our lust and hatred under us. But if we don't do that, lust and hatred will take us over and then bring us to ignorance. This is what happens to us. But the other stream, that is what we call by the Buddha, is the stream that goes upstream, call it Patisotagamini. So now the person who entered that stream is who we call by Sotapanna. In order to enter that stream, there are a couple things to do. As you said, there are 3 fetters to be eliminated. But today we're going to be discussing those 3 fetters at length. Okay. Now, the Buddha explained some of the very important aspects of the characteristics of the Sotapanna's life. I guarantee that you won't see some of the attributes of Sotapanna elsewhere in any other suttas that you see in Ratana Sutta. Some you see, but some of the things are not mentioned even in the Sotapatti Samyutta. Do you know the place called Sotapatti Samyutta? Sotapatti Samyutta means the place where you see all the teachings about the Sotapanna in the Samyutta Nikaya. But you won't see these teachings there. Very interesting. That's why we need to understand who he or she is. Kinchapi te honti busappamatta. Okay. Busappamatta. What is busappamatta? So here, busa and pamatta. What is pamatta? Late. What is meant by being late here in regard to Sotapanna? Late means you do bad karma, right? Anybody who does bad karma is late in their or his or her spiritual journey. Busa means late very much. Somebody who is late very much. That means even a Sotapanna person can be very late because of the bad karma. What does it mean indirectly? Even a Sotapanna can do
Bad thing.
bad acts. Interesting. But nade bhavam attamangad, although they may do some bad karma, they are not taking more than 7 lives after the death. They only take 7 lives. So whatever the bad karma they do, they're going to experience the results between the next 7 lives. No 8 life. That's the end. 7 is the final number. That's pretty interesting. Now let's talk about this delay here. How can we get late, especially regarding these, what you call Sotapanna or in our life? What do you think about being late attribute of a Sotapanna? How do we understand it? In order to understand this, we might need to go to the next stanza, but I will roughly share with you the reason. Anybody can do a bad karma. What is easier to do? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Which one is easier to do?
Surely the bad.
Bad acts are pretty easy to do. You can gossip very easy, but to keep your mouth silent is very difficult. Huh? How can I spend my time today? I want to talk to other people. Just share my gossip. Huh? You don't call it gossip. Good stuff, huh? But they are gossip. And not to hurt other people is pretty difficult for men. But hurting others are very easy. Huh? Just to say something bad about that person. Or right? What else? Speaking the truth and lying, which one is easier? Lying is very easy, huh? Easier than speaking the truth. It's pretty easy. Sometimes there are many people who want to hear lies more than the truth. A lot of people don't like to hear the truth, most people in this secular society. But the people like to hear lies because lies are concentrated, artificial, superficial, right? The truth is very bitter, right? Very, very uncomfortable, cannot spend time for that, right? So in that case, it means to do bad things are easier than the good things. Here, a Sotapanna person can still do bad karma. What bad karmas they do, what bad karmas they don't do. Let's figure out that. Just give a educated guess about it. Sotapanna person will never do 6 bad karmas. We call it the most serious crimes in Buddhism. But the rest, he may or she may do. What are those 6 bad karmas? Now, mostly in Theravada speeches, lectures, they talk about 5 serious karmas, bad karmas, but actually it's 6. The number 5 comes from Abhidhamma tradition, but 6 is the Theravada Sutta tradition. What are they?
Killing the Buddha. Is it?
You can't. Nobody can kill the Buddha.
Hurting
Killing the
Wounding
parents.
the Buddha.
Hurting
Wounding.
a Buddha.
Parents.
Hurting a Buddha.
Yeah, wounding. Okay, let's start from the order. The first one is killing mother.
Brother.
Killing parents.
If
mother.
somebody kills one's own mother, that person will not be able to attain Sotapanna because it's a serious crime, right? And then killing father. Okay, that's the second one. Serious crimes. Third one is killing arahants. So that means, should we ask, are you an arahant or not? And how does that go? Okay, I'm going to kill you, but tell me you're an arahant or not. We never know who is arahant or who is not arahant. But that's why I'm telling there may be arahants everywhere in the world. We never know. They might not claim to. But killing an arahant. The fourth one is wounding the Buddha. Nobody can kill the Buddha, but wounding, like Devadatta, he threw a stone, right? He hurt the Buddha. Not even that, he wants to be an ideal monk at the time of the Buddha. What he suggested to the Buddha, he wants to show the Dayakas that I'm more moral than the Buddha, the monks who are around him. What he suggested, he said to the Buddha, I suggest you 5 special rules. Please grant permission for them. What are they? Every monk should stay in the jungle, forest. And then every monk should go for Pindapat. Right? Go for Pindapat. And then every monk and nun or whoever should not eat meat and fish, vegetarians. And then every monk and nun should wear only the robes made up from the cemetery, from the dead bodies. I can't remember the other one. The Buddha said, I'm not granting these 5. These are extremes. But if any monk or nun wants to practice, let them practice. If somebody doesn't want, let them not practice. So he was very angry about it. So he was telling everybody, Dayakas, see, I'm trying to suggest something very ideal, but he does not grant me. So I want to make a different sasana, Buddhist order under me. Oh, some unwise monks join him. Interesting. Not even that. He also got the sponsorship from the King Ajasatta. He went to Ajasatta's palace. He showed something to him. He was happy too. Because he also killed his father, right? Bibisara, right? So that's what we understand about this Devadatta. Anyways, so wounding the Buddha. The fifth one is serious crime is?
Break sasana.
Sorry, Ariana?
Break the sasana.
Break the sasana. Yeah, at the same time, you can say making conflict between 2 monks, among monks and nuns. If you go and if you try to break the peace of 2 monks or probably nuns, that's a very, very bad karma because when they are in disharmony, a lot of bad things can happen. The 6th one is little debating. It is said that this is how it says. Trusting a different teacher other than the Buddha, that is also a serious crime. This is what the Ratana Sutta commentary and the Bahudhataka Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya says. But it's little debatable because saying that anybody who does not believe the Buddha is creating a serious crime. It's not acceptable because then you say that the same thing that those folks say, XYZ religions say, that anybody who does not trust our teacher, they're going to hell. But the sixth one, to my understanding, it doesn't say the Buddha. It means trusting a teacher that is not giving you the path to enter the stream. Because that is the most important thing, right? So let's say there may be a Hindu teacher, never know, who might teach a dispassion, I would say, how to get out of lust, hatred, ignorance. Probably we can take. Anyway, so there are 6 bad, serious crimes a Sotapanna will never do after become Sotapanna. Now, what's the danger that we have against a Sotapanna or compared to Sotapanna? Now, if Sotapanna does not do these 6, then that means they are not able to do those 6, any of the 6 crimes. So what's the danger we have compared to them? Can you guess? Sotapannas cannot do naturally. They cannot do these 6 after they became Sotapanna. But they will do other bad karma. They may or may not. If so, how do we take it to us compared to them? Are we still able to do those 6 if our mind is so crazy? Yes, pretty dangerous, huh? In case we do one of them, we have no choice. We have no opportunity to become a Sotapanna. That is why it is said, become a Sotapanna, because if you become a Sotapanna, you will never do those 6. Interesting. So we are still in a dangerous zone. In a dangerous zone. Probably we are sailing a river where there are a lot of crocodiles. 6 crocodiles. Probably we might get attacked by those 6 crocodiles anytime. You've got to sail pretty carefully. They might come and attack us anytime. But if we already passed that area, then we are fine. You will never find these crocodiles. Don't take these 6 family crocodiles, but I'm trying to give you kind of a simile to understand. So we are still vulnerable to make these 6. Actually, because of our lust, hatred, delusion, we still have opportunities, may have chances to do those. To be very careful in, keeping us within our own parameters of not making those 6. If we make them, we will never be able to become a Sotapanna. For long time. We will never know.
Bhante, can I have clarification on Unding the Buddha? Buddha is Unding, the 4th one.
Yeah.
So is this a living Buddha or the Buddha Tathagata or what?
Living Buddha. Yeah.
Oh,
Buddha.
those one Buddha.
Yeah. So, but let's say somebody is going to destroy Buddha statues, there is a different bad karma they are making. It's a different one. It's a different one. It will be not like.
It is those Sangha or those who practice to the level to become a Buddha, those living Buddha. Does it mean that way?
No. This is only the Samma Sambuddha.
A Samma Sangha.
Yeah.
But he's no more here.
So we won't make it.
So it won't happen to us, right?
It won't happen to us. It won't happen to us. But number 1, number 2, number 3, number 5, number is still remaining over there at large. Right?
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Anybody can do, he may do, because there are still opportunities for people to do. Okay. Any questions about this stanza? Okay.
Bhante, is it to catch in this verse number 9, for us to catch that Sotapanna is related to Sotapanna, is because, is it the key word is the 8th birth?
The key word is?
Verse. That means it's a signal that the 8th birth is relating to the Sotapanna, not 7 lives. Because the word Sotapanna, it doesn't appear here in these words.
So we have to take it.
The key word.
The word Sotapanna does not appear in the stanza itself. But looking at
meaning.
looking at the description, it is about a Sotapanna. So we have to, sometimes most of the suttas cannot be understood just by the literal meaning, but by understanding the context only, you get to know it's here, it's about a Sotapanna. Now even the second stanza, now the next stanza is totally about Sotapanna, the full-blown description about the Sotapanna.
Okay, yes, thank you.
Okay, verse number 10. Who wants to read? Want to give a try? Somebody who hasn't read yet? Verse number 10, Sahavasa. Pungi, you want to give it a try? You are new today.
Sorry, me?
You wanted to give it a try to read the stanza?
Right, so
Yeah.
I'm actually cheating because I have a Thai script next to me, but I will not look at it. Sahawasa
Oh, great.
dasana sampadaya tayasu dhamma jahita bhavati sakaya ditti viti kitchitancha. Oh, okay, I'm stuck at line 4.
Yeah.
Right. Silapatam wapi yadati kinchi katu ha payehi ka vipamato
Not katu, chatu. It's chatu, not katu.
Chatu. Oh, right.
Chatu.
Chatu. Chakapitani abhavokatum itampi chan Ti-Ratanam panitam etena sachena suvatihotu.
Very good. Yeah. It's about, because I'm normally asking somebody to read so they learn how to recite in front of us. Although this is not a Pali class, but it's good. So we cover everything. Let me recite. Saha vassa dassana sampadaya tayasu dhamma jahita bhavanti sakkaya ditti vichikichitancha silabbatang vapi yadatti kinchi. Not katua, chatu. Chatu hapaye hicha vipamotto. Cha, this is aspirate. Cha, chabitana abhabbo kata. Idam pisanghe ratana panitan etena sachena swati. It's a stock statement here, so it's not a very big thing. Now, this stanza says, even without naming this is about a Sotapanna, some of the temperamental attributes of somebody. This somebody is Sotapanna. Let's take a look at how we need to understand a Sotapanna in more details. Saha vassa dassana sampadaya. Now the Sotapanna person, the one who entered the stream upstream, he already or she already has what you call dassana sampadaya. Dassana doesn't mean insight, because insight is a higher word to focusing an arahant. Dassana sampadaya means he or she has the right view. Have you ever heard this term, right view? Sammaditthi. You heard that? Okay, Sammaditthi is the first noble path factor in the Noble Eightfold Path. Along with a Sotapanna has right view, what's going to happen to a Sotapanna is Tayasu Dhamma Jahita Bhavanti. He or she eliminates 3 fetters. What is a fetter, folks? How do we take fetters? Now we have defilement, we have taints, we have fetters. What is a fetter? How do we understand fetters? Now here it doesn't say Dhamma. Actually here Dhamma means fetters, not the Buddha Dhamma. fetters. What is a fetter? How do we understand? As long as you are in the samsara, not by becoming a sotapanna, it is said that you are bounded by 10 strings. I would say strings. 10 strings. They are strings. You are bounded by 10 strings. So these strings are called fetters. You are bounded by these strings to where? To samsara. So your plan is to cut them off one by one, probably 10. If you are such an insightful being, gonna cut them off at the same time. Have a lot of panna. So this sotapanna person has already cut off 3 strings that have bounded him or her. We call them fetters. What are they? Sakkaya Ditti, then Vichikicha, Silabbata. These 3 fetters have been cut off by Sotapanna person. That means if you want to attain Nibbana, so Sotapanna, you must be able to eliminate these 3. Now the first fetter that has bound us to samsara is Sakkaya Ditti. What is Sakkaya Ditti? What is it?
Wrong view, Bhante?
Huh?
No. Wrong
What's the
view.
Sakkaya Ditti?
Wrong understanding.
No. Sakkaya Ditti is
Wrong.
Ego.
Bella, are you gonna say something to us?
Ego.
Ego is one word, one translation. Okay. Ego is one but it is coming from psychology, from the Sigmund Freud. Sometimes there are some of the issues with this ego because it is said that how he describes mind, ego, super ego, something like that, right? But here we say personality belief or ego. We can say ego too. When you see someone who is a little unusual, a lot of this guy has a lot of ego, very selfish person, right? So we would say personality belief. How do we understand? I have designed some flyers about different Dhamma factors in the past. Probably I'm going to show you how to understand Sakkaya Ditti in details. Then how can I show you this thing? Probably I'm going to share the screen. Should be able to share the screen. Okay. See. Okay, can you see my screen? Okay, that's my blog. And okay, so you can see, here I translate this to be identity view. This is a more Buddhist section this way. Identity view. Do we have an identity problem? Yes. Not about this social issue that we say that I'm Asian, you are white. It's not this issue. This is about our identity issue, like identity. Identify myself, yourself. We call it Sakkaya Ditti. Okay, this was published 2021, June 1st. Okay, let me show you. Is it clear to all of you? The flyer? Okay.
Yes.
Now,
yes,
the
Bhante.
Sakkaya Ditti, if it is identity view, which is the first fetter that we have to deal with, it is given in 20 forms, 20 ways. So that means we maintain our identity view, Sakkaya Ditti, in 20 ways. What are these red colored one? Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. We call them 5 aggregates. So we have 20 types of Sakkaya Ditti, and each aggregate has 4 types of Sakkaya Ditti. Now, you look at Rupa, that has 4 types of identity. Vedana, 4. Sanya 4, Sankhara 4, Vijnana 4. Let's take one, Rupa. What is Rupa? Rupa means our form, our body, especially. So in our normal life, general life, we take our form as self. Do we do that? We do it all the time. Calling, this body is this XYZ person, right? It's me. And self as possessed of form. That means naming somebody, this is XYZ person, and this XYZ exist in this body. Do we do that sometimes? We do it, right? We call that this particular person is inside this body. And the third one, how we take the Rupa to be a Sakkaya Ditthi, is form as in self. Is it different from the first one? Yes. Form as in self. That means the body as in self, right? And self as in form. That means that person as in the body, right? So similarly, Vedana, my Vedana, and it's me. This Vedana is me. This feeling is me. Feeling is inside of me. This perception is me. I am in that perception. Sankhara, Vinya, all that goes this way. So in that way, we have 20 types of Sakkaya Ditthi. Then it looks like the beginning point to enter the Sotapanna is a challenging point to all of us, right? Because the first, I think this is the biggest problem. If you even go to a gathering, if you go to even you go to do good things, people have this issue. They try to do a good thing, but they still maintain this identity view. So it's really difficult for them to even maintain. Not to maintain Sakkaya Ditthi, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy and then send you this to the chat. It'll be easier to all of you, right? So you can copy and bookmark it. See it later. Okay.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay, and let me stop the sharing because of the time issue. Sakkaya Ditthi is identity view, which functions as 20 types of Sakkaya Ditthi we have. And then Vichikiccha. Actually, the commentary says Chikiccha and Vichikiccha. Chikiccha means wisdom. It is said that we have a lot of mental problems, right? Buddha in one of the suttas said to us, somebody can say, I am healthy for a week. I am healthy for a month. I am healthy for 3 months. I am healthy for 1 year. I'm healthy for 7 years. I'm healthy for 10, 20, 30 years. But if they have not attained Nibbana, that means they are still sick in their mind. That means we are still sick with our mind, because unless if we not attain Nibbana. So the Buddha says the answer to all the mental problems is one thing, that is Panya, wisdom. So Chikiccha is Panya, but when there is no Panya, we call it Vichikiccha. That means doubts, a lot of doubts. What doubts do we have? Especially with regard to spiritual things, doubts about the Buddha, doubts about the Dhamma, doubts about the Sangha, doubts about our previous life. How many people trying to trace out their previous life? It's okay then. Some couples are saying, I think we were born together last life. Huh? Oh, we're gonna be okay. Next life, we're gonna be reborn next life. It's true. I mean, it can happen. Because remember the couple, Nakula Mata, Nakula Pita, they were telling the Buddha, Bhante, I'm 8 years old, my wife is 8 years old. Ever since I married her, I haven't even thought about other women. Good man, huh? Good husband. Sorry, I mean, good wife. Vice versa, the woman also said, I haven't even thought about any other guy. ever since I married. Is it easy to do that? I had to ask from all of you. Have your answer ready for your mental chatter? And the Buddha said, and they asked from the Buddha, Bhante, because we've been loving each other so much by practicing Saddha, Sila, Chaga, Panya. That's what the Buddha said. That's why our relationship lasted very well, because I and my wife had trust equally, morality equally, Sila equally, generosity equally, Panya equally. It's not like my wife is trying to say, I have more Sila than you. I have more generosity, I do more donations than you. I do more things about wisdom than you. We never argue about our spirituality. We always try to maintain our love, keep our love. At the same time, try to spend the life for many years. Do we have a chance to be reborn together again? The Buddha said, yes, in one of the suttas. Unless you keep Saddha, Sila, Chaga, Panya equally. That means there are some possibilities, especially in Buddhism. Because Buddha talks to different folks. Some folks don't want to attain Nibbana. They just want to be happy in their life. Some folks want to be very serious, like you. Some people, I'm not saying you, all of you. Some people want to attain Nibbana very fast, become a serious practitioner. Some people might say, no, I'm not for that now, but I want to be, but I have some constraints at the moment. So my point is, everybody has a chance, has an opportunity in Buddhism. Okay. So, worrying about the past, worrying about the future, it's also doubts. Worrying about the what you call the Patisamuppada. All these are doubts that are not good for an unenlightened person, but Sotapanna eliminates doubts too. Then Silabbata. Silabbata, what is Silabbata? Very interesting. Now we are supposed to practice Sila, right? Morality, virtues. What is our Sila? What is our Sila? Your Sila. What Sila do you practice?
Observing the 5 precepts.
Yeah, 5 precepts. But on full moon days, you sometimes take other precepts too, right? 8 precepts, 10 precepts, something like that. Monks have their different Sila too. But what is Silabbata? Silabbata means if somebody only practice Sila, but not practice Samadhi and Panya, then that Sila practice will be a fetter. The Buddha said, here's the thing. One day, one very sick person approached the Buddha and told him, Bhante, I have a problem. I'm very sick now and elderly, very senile. So I'm very afraid if I die at a certain point, I might not have good Sila, because if you want to practice Sila, you have to have good energy, right? Because okay, this is Panatipata, this is Adinadana, this is Kamasunichachara, this is Musavada Sura. You have to be very vigilant. But because I'm old and sick, sometimes I forget. So what's going to happen to me? The Buddha said, don't worry. How about your Panya? Yeah, I have good Panya. I mean, I'm working on that all. That's enough. Now some folks might think we don't need Sila Samadhi. We only focus on Panya. That's not the way. You need Sila Samadhi to get up to Panya, probably to maintain Panya. But our plan is to practice Panya. Sila Samadhi take us to Panya. But unfortunately, most people end up with Sila. That is what we call by Silabbata, Paramasa. Lots of people, especially even more Buddhists actually, they actually end up with Sila. When you ask them, what's your Buddhist practice? I only take 5 precepts. I only practice 5. That's it. That's enough. In Buddhism, that is called, because if you only keep the 5 precepts, if you don't do any Samadhi and Panya, so that means you might mostly ended up with Silabbata. Paramasa. Especially another meaning to this is what do you call by that? extreme involvement to rites and rituals, right? Extreme involvement. You need to involve, you can involve, but some people, they don't know that this is a ritual. Pretty interesting term, huh? There is one country in Asia where there are, it's the country where lots of rituals happen. Huh? But the folks know that this is the ritual. They know it's a ritual. They are rituals. So they separate out. These are rituals. This is the practice. But in many places, what happens is that when they are engaged in rituals, they don't know it's ritual. They think it is Buddhism. Then we might get stuck in that ritual. I don't want to name a country or a place, but you know what it is. Right? We should know this is the ritual, this is the practice. Can we live without rituals? No, we cannot. We need some cultural stuff, but we have to understand that this is a ritual. Sotapanna person does not attach to these extreme rituals, even to unnecessary sila, right? That is an unnecessary extreme level of sila, which is not appreciated by a Sotapanna. Remember, in one sutta, I think Kukkuravatiya Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya, I can't remember the number. One person asked the Buddha, looking at somebody who is acting as a cow, asking about that particular person, Bhante, that person is acting like a cow. He thinks that he's going to be enlightened in next life because he's acting as a cow. What is his possible next birth? And the Buddha said, if you did something for the most part of your life, the next life will be the same. Now he was behaving like a cow, he's going to be a cow next life. It's pretty interesting, huh? If you're living as a good human, you will be a human. That's the guarantee, right? So those practices are what you call by extreme ritualistic practices. Who actually introduced this extreme sila? Can you guess who introduced them? James, Nigantanatha Buddha's disciples. They are the ones who introduced these extreme sila. Okay, Sakkaya Ditthi is the 20 kinds of identity view. Vichikicha means doubts about the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, previous life, next life, so on and so forth. Silabbata Paramasa means clinging to unnecessary extreme ritual practices, rites and rituals. Then when you become a Sotapanna, then what happens? Chatuha pai hicha vipamutto. You are free from, Chatu means, what is Chatu in Pali? Fungi, what is Chatu? Chatu is 4. You said Katu. Chatu. Pretty interesting, I'm saying now. Chatu is 4. Chatu is 4. Yeah. So the Sotapanna person exempt from 4 places, apayas, hells. He or she will never become an animal. Animal is an apaya in Buddhism. They are suffering, I think. And then hells. And what are the other places? Petans and then asuras. They will never become into one of these places. And chachabhitanani ababbo katum. Chachabhitanani. So that means ababbo. He is not eligible to do 6 serious crimes which I mentioned to you in the previous stanza. Killing mother, killing father, killing arahants, wounding the Buddha, making split among the monastics, and then trusting a teacher who is not telling you the path to become an enlightened person. Ch means 6. Chatu is 4. Ch means 6. Yeah, so idam pisangi ratanam panita. This is one of the attributes, temperaments of qualities of the Sangha. May you be well and happy, right? Etena Satchena Suati. That's the meaning. Okay. Now you can ask any questions about this stanza or probably about
Bhante,
both stanzas actually.
Bhante, just
Yeah.
now you you mentioned Chatu Hapayahe, the
Mhm.
four woeful states, animal, hell, and what? No, the four woeful states.
Yeah, for hells.
Animal, hell.
Okay. The first one is the general hells. There are 16 general hells, 8 hot hells, 8 cold hells. Okay. And then the second one is animal kingdom, all the animals. Third one is what you call by Petas, ghost. The fourth one, the fourth one is asuras, demons, we call them.
Demon.
Those are the 4 main hells in Buddhism. So Sotapanna will never be reborn in one of those places. Because if you get caught up there, you won't be able to come back for a long time. That's the problem.
Thank you, Bhante.
Sorry, Bhante. Sorry, Bhante. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Hank, go ahead.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry, can I just check? I missed out the sixth wrongdoing, the last two. Can you hear me?
I think
Can you
I
hear me?
don't hear you well. Probably you can talk a little bit closer to your mic, please.
Can you hear me better?
Yeah, great. Well,
Okay. I missed out the last two, the six wrongdoing. I didn't really catch the last two the major six wrongdoing.
majors. I think I already explained about those 6 serious crimes in the previous stanza. So Sotapanna person is not eligible, not eligible, will never commit those 6 serious crimes. Yeah, I actually explained that before we jump into this stanza, because I had to explain. In the previous stanza, it says Busappamatta. So this Busappamatta means they can still do other bad karma. Now, there's a big problem to explain, especially the other bad crimes. Now, does this mean killing brother, killing sister? How do we take them? Don't even talk about it. They are pretty bad. We should never think about these things. I mean, this is a way of explaining crimes based on the Nibbana. So nobody should take the opposite. Okay, because somebody might think, okay, I can do any other bad karma, no, something like that. Don't do any bad karma, don't do even a slight bad karma. But if you look at the karma, it's pretty different, the way how it is taken. Especially the karma is created depending on the intention, especially your way of looking at it. It depends from one to the other person.
Thank you, Bhante.
Hema, you were trying to ask a question before?
No, I'm very happy with this verse, because when I chant all this, I just went through without in-depth understanding.
Yeah,
but now today is very good. Very good. Thank you. Thank you.
Actually have a question. Right.
Sure.
And just wonder from what we discussed about the 6 major crimes that they can commit. If a person is not enlightened to be as Sotapanna and would not commit those 6 major crimes, is still left out other life form. But as you say that sin or it has to do with intention. Does that mean in some situation a person could kill some other life form that's out of the 6 major crime, but maybe with some other intention and still not get to any 4 state of misery? I just wonder, would there be a situation possible for a Sotapanna to hurt others because they are already enlightened to some certain?
Yeah, that's correct. They are enlightened to a certain extent. That's why they are not committing. Actually, the way how 6 crimes have been labeled as serious crimes is compared, I would say, compared with the Nibbana. Compared with the Nibbana, these are the 6 serious crimes. But on the surface level in our world, there may be heinous karmas. There may be very bad karmas more than these 6. Now, who cares? Like, if you go and do a bad, if you're gonna make a split between monks and nuns, I mean, who cares that? I mean, somebody might say, I don't care about it. There are a lot of bad things happening. Some people shooting other people, shooting folks. But these 6 bad karmas have been taken in regard to the possible arahantship, attaining nibbana. So we should not use these 6 to classify the degree of the karma, the degree of the bad activities in our world, in our secular world. But these 6 are only given looking at the nibbana. So I think it's not a good explanation to look at the karma in our life. Because in our life, we engage in our karma different. But because I think somebody might say killing the brother, killing aunts, killing, they are not mentioned here. Somebody might say, okay, I can do that, right? So here, these 6 have been given in a way that prevents someone to attain nibbana. Karma-wise, it's not a good explanation in my understanding, but nibbana-wise, it's a very clear explanation, because if you do one of these, that means you are going to be in the samsara for long, so you won't be able to have an opportunity. So as your question says, a sotapanna is ineligible. He or she is not even thinking about it, these 6, because he or she cannot spend more time in the samsara. So such thoughts won't come to their mind. Now, why we sometimes get thoughts, I'm so angry about somebody. Probably some people might, I'm so angry about my mom and dad, right? Because of an argument, right? Sotapanna cannot think like that, because karmically they have stopped their lives after 7th birth. So they are not executing, they are not making them. For Sotapanna, it's pretty clear that they are not going to make them, because they are ineligible, their time is cut off. But for unenlightened folks, we have a huge chance of, probably like a possible potential chance of making them if our minds are messed up. So that's a dangerous thing, because we still have a lot of time in the samsara. So yeah. Make sense?
Yes, that does make it very clear, sir. Thank you.
Bhante, can I ask, these 6 major wrongdoings, what about ants? It's not counted, is it?
Ants?
Ants, small insects and mosquitoes.
That's why, no, I mean, aunt, brothers, sisters, they are more than the ants. That's why I'm questioning why there is no mention about killing other beings other than mother, father. Right? So that's why I'm saying this is not a good explanation about karma for our general life. This is a good explanation about looking at the nibbana. If I want to the nibbana, those 6 are pretty bad. But it doesn't say you can do other things. It means we have to, be very careful, very vigilant of not executing other bad karmas too. Actually, if somebody thinks to do such kind of a thing, that person won't have a chance. Now think about Angulimala. So Angulimala was killing many folks. But if he was going to kill his mother, that's going to be a big problem to his opportunity to become an arahant. That's why Buddha prevented that happening. He went fast, because mother went to see him that day, right? Thinking the government force is going to take him. So they're going to kill him. So the mother will be quick to him. So he will kill mother. He won't be able to become an arahant. So Buddha stopped that. But he became an arahant. So, but we should not treat this incident to have a thought that we can kill anybody other than mother, father. But we are trying our best not to kill anybody, not to kill any being. It is said a sotapanna even not gonna kill even an ant, as you said, right?
Okay, Bhante, the thing is sometimes it's challenge for lay people we engage the pest control people to come in and spray the house or for the cockroaches or for whatever. Isn't it indirectly is very bad? So we shouldn't have pest control?
That's a good question. I normally ask
Very
a
challenging.
counter.
Very challenging.
Yeah, normally ask a counter question to this. Now, that is what we may experience in today's world. Does this happen in every house or in some houses? Pest control thing? It can happen in some houses. It might not happen in some houses, right? Especially like the incident with mosquitoes, right? So the thing is, if we clean, this has to be answered with the Patisamuppada teaching. So if we keep our house clean and tidy, that is the good thing to this answer. But there may be some occasions where you will have to consult a pest control company, because taking care of the human life is very important. That is, if we bring this rationale to our life, we can even take medications, Hema. Pretty interesting. You have a stomach ache, and if you look at from a scientific way, there is a living living being inside, right? We can even take medications, right? In Buddhism, it says we are not too extreme about this, but we try our best to prevent any killing. Yeah, we try our best. Now, the soldiers, police in any country, law enforcement people, they try to maintain safety. That safety covers all of us. There may be some occasions where they have to use extra power too. We never know what it is like, but they do it for everybody, right? So, so I think the best thing for all this is try to do your part to the house or to the place.
Yes.
Now, in that case,
Emma,
keeping the house clean and tidy is a good thing, good way to stop the unnecessary tiny creatures coming. Now, this happens with some people. Bhante, you know what? Lot of mosquitoes in my house. Now the mosquito is on my body. Should I kill her now? This question. So I'm telling, how did the mosquitoes come in? You let the door open, window open the whole day. The mosquitoes came in, right? So I'm asking, do something to prevent this happening. You made a mistake. Now the animals came in. Now you're asking me what to do. So that question is like, I mean, not your question about mosquitoes, but for a bigger issue like a pest, like, this happens in Canada a lot because rat issue. There are rats coming in the houses, so they have to take extreme control about it. Otherwise, this house is made of wood, not from cement. The whole house structure will fall down. So for the sake of many people, for the sake of the good of many people, they will have to make some decisions, but not to kill them, but to make a safety plan to all of them. That is the worst case scenario. But I ask you to do preventative stuff before, in case it won't work. It will go to the hand of such people.
Isn't like pest control actually is preventing them from coming? I don't think killing, you don't want them to come, so you're not killing them. You're just preventing
the baits and all that. My next question is, when it's dengue raining season, in the garden, raining seasons, and is a pool of water, we try to prevent and all that, but in the drain, sometimes there's some water. So when we put a bait, are we doing a bait is, to make sure the lavas, no lavas and all that. So, isn't it is another, when I put, I'm so conscious, am I doing preventive from
sometimes
dengue spreading,
Yeah, take the example of taking some medication. Let's say you have a virus in your body, right? You go see a doctor. Do you ask the doctor, give me medication to kill my bacteria or virus?
Yeah.
How do you ask that?
Antibiotic, kill the bacteria.
Do you ask like that, or say, doctor, I'm so sick, can you give me a medication? How do you ask that?
I know.
You ask the doctor, I'm sick, I don't know, I can't eat, I cannot stand like that. can you please help me, give me some medication? Or you asking, doctor, I think I have a virus, just kill the virus, right now.
So is that
Oh.
wrong? Is it wrong?
I mean, this
It's
is
not
what
wrong,
this is what I'm telling you. The thing
body.
is how you look at it. How you look at it. Because if you look at it that like the Jains, the crazy, sometimes they are very unwise. They told the people, don't drink water from lakes and rivers. So first boil the water, and they never know that when you boil the water, you're killing
kill the
the
bacteria.
micro animal creatures, right? At that time in India, right? So what we have to understand here is that the answer to all these questions is try to practice preventative measures. That's number one. And the second thing is, animal compassion is not that we are trying to be very extreme on that. You have to protect humans first. That's number one. At the same time, you should keep your compassion as much as you can. But sometimes you may have to understand what's going on in a proper way. That understanding, because you all asking, okay, when that happens, that animal is getting killed. When this is happening, this mosquito is getting killed. This is what you are picking up. That. So the way how we look at it is the most important thing, right? Otherwise, how many things are happening in this world, right? But if you maintain your compassion, I'm not letting anybody die, right? That's very important. It's like when you are on a highway, you are driving, then there is an animal on the road, on the highway. It is said in the driving code, do not jeopardize other drivers on the road just because you want to save an animal.
Oh.
That's a good way of looking at it, actually. The driving manual says, do not, because if you suddenly stop on the highway, other drivers, they don't know, they get confused, they're gonna hit you, they're gonna die. Many people will die behind you. You want to simply take care of this animal. Actually, if you sorry?
In Australia, if you are driving on the road, right, there's a kangaroo coming on the road, you can kill the kangaroo. You're not wrong one. You won't be.
I mean, we're not going to kill the animal. We're trying the best
to
solution,
avoid accident.
the best choice at that point. We shouldn't, because killing a human is more serious than other forms and animals. But we have to protect animals too as much as you can. But we have to use the best choice at that point. So in the same way, try to use the preventative measures. That's number one. For other small cases, look at it with an understanding of how to do that particular activity. That's the answer.
So if you see a mosquito, you don't shoot.
Yeah, for that, just keep your place clean and tidy. That's number one. But not everybody does in a house. Somebody's gonna open the door, right? This happens, and then Any other questions?
Bhante, sorry, Bhante. I want to conclude from your statement just now. So it means that it's all about our mindset on how we see the positive things and refrain on doing the bad things. But let's say if we unintentionally like killing the pests or killing the animals, we are still doing good. It's not critical mistake, but just sharing the compassion to the pests or the animals that we mistakenly kill them. Is that right, Bhante?
Can you rephrase this little in kind of like summary way? Question?
Yeah. I'm trying to conclude what Bhante explained just now. Is that true? That it's all about our mindset on how we see things in a positive way and refrain on doing the bad things. But if let's say we unintentionally kill those animals or pests, we just keep like we know that we are doing mistakes, but trying not to do that again and setting compassion to the animals and that we already killed or not yet killed, right, Bhante?
Yeah, correct. Now, for example, your house, one person's house may have cobwebs, right? You are not letting more cobwebs to spread in the house, so you're trying to clean it. But you're not trying to kill the spiders in it. Probably you try to chase the spiders. They get out of my house. Probably, The animals think whenever they have a chance, this is their house. That's what they think, right? Animals, when a rat comes to a house, rat think this is my house. This is not the human's house. So then we try to chase them away, try our best, right? Even the corporates. We probably, if you have a guide, the same way. So as you said, we are not supposed to intentionally kill, but we try our best not to do anything wrong. But still, things might happen. So the problem is if we intentionally do, and also there are issues like Hema brought up, issues like what to do for different pest issues. At that point, we had to understand, because sometimes when the rats come in, when the cockroaches come in, the food getting dirty, some other issues can happen. It can probably hurt other folks in the house. So you may have to make some decisions. Try to do preventative steps. In the worst case scenario, then you look for the professional help, right? But with good intention, not to kill them, probably ask them to chase them or something like that. Yeah. So that's what we can think.
Bhante, I have one other question about Sotapanna person. So for those who already attained Sotapanna, is there any chance in the next life, in the 7 rebirth time, they are not being a Buddhist? And is there any chance that they will do the critical mistakes or not? Or is already in their mindset for not doing that bad things anymore? But is there a chance that can happen like that, Bhante? Or
okay, when you become a Sotapanna, the rest of the time to become an Arahant depends on 3 kinds of Sotapanna. You become one kind of Sotapanna. There are Sotapannas who became Sotapanna, and within this very life they attain Nibbana, right? We call that person Ekapiji. And we also talk about another Sotapanna who will attain Nibbana in between the 2nd and 3rd life, right? And there is another Sotapanna who is having a hard time probably going for 7th life, right? So in the 7th life, he or she is going to attain Nibbana. Now your question is, what is his religious status? That is one question. So to my understanding, a Sotapanna can be reborn in any religion, unless the Sotapanna is trying to... Now here the problem is, there may be different folks. So we cannot say it is only by being a serious Buddhist that a Sotapanna will end up. Now some Sotapannas going to be reborn in one of the Brahma worlds sometimes. It may be. So it depends. It may be or it may not be. But their time is counted, guaranteed. They won't survive after 7th life. But they will never make serious mistakes, like you said. They won't. But other mistakes they may do. But to my understanding, they may not do, because they already understand Sakkaya Ditthi. Because oftentimes we make mistakes because we have identity. We try to maintain us. It's me, I, me, myself. So they are very preventative about such things. But occasionally it can happen, but not the serious mistakes, 6 mistakes. So it's a pretty successful sequence of life till attain Nibbana. Make sense? Or not yet clear?
Makes sense, Bhante. But I'm still thinking that if, let's say, they are in another religion and they mistakenly like killing some things or doing that critical mistakes.
I don't think a Sotapanna will be reborn in that kind of a XYZ place, XYZ religion, because Sotapanna already determined not to do such things, so he or she won't be reborn in such a place. That's guaranteed. Because if you talk about an opportunity, kind of a probability for a Sotapanna to be reborn in another XYZ religion, where he or she is, supposed to do the same bad activities like his or her mother, father, and family, I don't think it will happen. It's pretty rare, that kind of situation.
So it means that the Sotapanna will always lead to Nibbana after the 7 reborn, right, Bhante? They always have the way to reach that goal.
The longest is the 7th. The least is 1 life.
Oh.
Yeah, the least is 1. I think most people, they have one life Sotapanna, but there are other folks who might not, like some folks. But I guarantee they won't be reborn in a place where they can do bad karma, a lot of bad karma, like those XYZ places.
Bhante, can I clarify that once they become Sotapanna, the next level is Sakatami and then Anagami, then only Arahant, right?
Sakadaga, yeah.
There's a different level. They have to go through 4 stages, right, before being enlightened.
Sometimes they have a very speedy journey. Sometimes some Sotapannas directly attain Nibbana. Sometimes they go to each year like a university, 1st year, 2nd year, 3rd year, 4th. But some folks, they do early maths, pre-maths, go to the 2nd year. It's like that. It's pretty interesting. It depends on your panya, your wisdom.
So they can jump like express class straight to Arahant.
Accelerated lane, speed.
Okay.
Yes. You can accelerate. Yeah, it depends. So there is no one particular way, but I can guarantee the longest is the 7 life. But most Sotapannas don't go to 7 life. They will finish in 2 to 3rd life, mostly. Only there is a very different Sotapanna who is not making the life pretty much. There are people like that. I could say there are some folks who are starting university, but doing 7, 8, 9 years sometimes. But there is a longest, right? So the longest is what do you call the 7. Any questions? Otherwise, we're going to transfer the merits.
Okay, thank you so much, Bhante, for the explanation.
Thank you.
So I wanted to give you a kind of a thought, like a housekeeping announcement. After we finish Ratana Sutta, that means we're going to be doing verse number 11. It's also about Sotapanna. And then 12, 13, 14, 15, we will be going to Metta Sutta after that. Okay, it's a pretty condensed sutta, very easy to understand. Okay, looks like there are no questions, so we're going to be transferring merits now. May all the good karmas that we've been accumulating today in engaging in a discussion about Sotapanna, especially referring to verse number 9 and 10 of the Ratana Sutta, be transferred to all the departed people who passed away in the name of all of us. By the departed people who passed away in the name of all of us in this life and previous lives, be able to receive all these good karmas. If they were reborn in a hell, one of the 4 hells, may they be able to utilize these good karmas and then to switch to a better place, and then be able to listen to more Dhamma, practice more Dhamma, and then to be able to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idang me nyati nang hotu, sukita huntu nyateu. Idang me nyati nang hotu, sukita huntu nyateu. Idang me nyati nang hotu, sukita huntu nyateu. Also, we're going to share good karmas with the non-humans, Devas, Nagas, Mahikas. May all the Devas, Nagas, Mahikas share all these good karmas and bless all of you, the monks, monastics, all the devotees, friends who participated in today's discussion, your family, your friends, even your grandsons, everybody. Be protected and blessed for good health, quality of life, and all the prosperity. May the Devas, Nagas, Mahikas also be well and happy, and may they also attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavatacha amihi sambetang punya sampradang sambe deva anmodantu sambasang patti sindhya Ittavata cha ammihi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata cha ammihi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasatha cha bhummatha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva Shirang Rakhang Turuka Sasanang Akasatha cha Bhummatha Devanaga Mahindika Punyantang Anumoditva Shirang Rakhang Turesanang Akasatha cha Bhummatha Devanaga Mahindika Punyantang Anumoditva Shirang Rakhang Tumang Paranti. By the power of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, may all your sufferings go away. May all your sicknesses go away. May all your fears go away. May you all be protected all the time for safety and all the good things. Finally, may all the good karmas that we've been accumulating in all these ways for today be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain Nibbana, at least to the level of Sotapanna in spirit life. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I'm going to be blessing you in a couple more stanzas. Abhivadana siddhis nichang vaddha pachayino chattaro dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanu sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati samijjati. Sadhu, sadhu. Wish you a good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming. And we will move through the journey of understanding more Dhamma all the time.